Next honoree, if you ever met Jeff Simon, you love Jeff Simon. If you've ever attended a Hall of Fame event before, you might recognize our final inductee. Or you may know him from his wealth management practice, numerous TV appearances, speaking engagements, and plentiful community activities. Jeff Simon is Managing Director of Simon & Associates Wealth Management of Raymond James, and immediate past chair of the Florida Council of Economic Education, where he truly saved this organization and helped it flourish at the same time. He's a true believer in spreading the word about financial literacy. Please turn your attention to the screens as we hear a little bit more about our great friend, Jeff Simon.
Something to aspire to, isn't it? Well, you know, it is a great honor to be inducted here into the Hall of Fame, and it's a great honor to be with all of you tonight. There are so many friends, so many colleagues, my wife Andrea, my son Spencer, my brothers Bob and Ken, my sister-in-law Andy, my team members, Jim Stanger, Jason Disberg, Janice Ferguson, so many of our great clients. I want to thank you all for coming. And of course, my Raymond James colleagues, very important, including Troy Atlas, Barry Alpert, Joe Weaver, and Tom James, who you saw earlier tonight. You know, I first met Tom James back in 1982. Back then, I was a young TV journalist. You actually saw some young TV journalist pictures up there a minute ago. And I was looking to launch a weekly business program back then. And quite honestly, I didn't know very much about business. I didn't know much about finance, but I knew Tom did. And I was really interested in getting his idea as to whether this idea made any sense whatsoever. It was to be a local regional business show on WEDU, the local PBS station. And you got to think back, you know, is this a good idea? Today you'd say, well, you know, sure, but that was 1982. That was 7 years before CNBC went on the air. So who knew business programming would be a good idea? But Tom James said, go for it. And we did. And the Suncoast Business Journal went on the air in 1983. It was on the air for 7 years. It was nominated for 3 Emmy Awards along the way. And spent years covering the story and telling the story of the growth and economic development of this area. In 1990, I switched gears and began my current career in wealth management. And once again, I turned to my friend Tom and I said, Tom, what do you think? He said, go for it, just as he did in the past. And Tom has been a source of great encouragement, inspiration, and leadership. So Tom, I thank you for your support, your friendship over all these years. And I also want to thank my wife, Andrea, who is an absolute force of nature and whose her dedication to family and to building a vibrant cultural community is beyond compare here in the Tampa Bay area. There are a lot of other folks I'd certainly like to thank, but if I did, we'd be here for quite a long time. So what I'd like to do instead is share with you a personal story. The reason I'm here tonight is trigonometry. Remember trigonometry? Well, like many of you, I studied trigonometry in high school, and it was my personal undoing. I couldn't memorize all those rules and all those formulas, and I barely passed the course. And since then, I have never, in my entire life, taken another math course. And the reason for that is that I have math anxiety. That's right, math anxiety is a real thing. It's a feeling of fear, of tension, apprehension, that interferes with math performance, actually regardless of your intelligence or your skills. Math anxiety relates to negative attitudes about math and is directly connected with math avoidance. Now, math avoidance is a serious thing because math avoidance affects career decisions and it affects how you deal with personal finances. And believe it or not, math anxiety affects half the Americans in the United States. Half the people in this room suffers from some form of math anxiety. Now, when I was in high school, I actually dreamed of being a heart surgeon. But as you probably know, if you don't take math courses, you can't go to med school. So that was off the table. So talk about having an impact on your career. In college, I studied journalism, which actually turned out to be a very good career choice, and I was well suited for it. And it was a good path for me to follow. And it also allowed me to avoid ever taking a math course again. Broadcast journalism is what brought me here to Tampa in the late 1970s to work for WEDU Public Media, which, by the way, is one of the greatest community treasures we have, and it's led now by CEO Susan Howarth and a very talented team, including Vice President of Content Jack Conley, who's here tonight. In 1983, I started the Suncoast Business Journal, which I told you about, and guess what? To my surprise, I discovered that all I really needed to understand business and finance, for the most part, was not math. It was arithmetic, something we all learned in elementary school. The simple stuff, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. And slowly, my math anxiety began to dissipate. It began to go away. And then in 1990, I got an MBA from the excellent executive MBA program at USF and snuffed out my math anxiety altogether. Today, USF is led by its unstoppable president, Judy Genshaft, and Moaz Layam, dean of the exceptional Muma College of Business. And USF is now one of the great educational powerhouses in the state of Florida. And also during the 1980s, I very fortunately met, Dr. Dick Puglisi, who you saw in the video earlier, who's the visionary leader of the USF Stavros Center for Free Enterprise and Economic Education. And it was Dick Puglisi who opened my eyes about the crisis of financial illiteracy, which has been discussed at such great length today, and how serious it was, not only among young people, but among adults throughout our society. And so much of that financial illiteracy is based on math anxiety and the fact that there is so little out there in terms of quality educational materials and training in our public schools. So for the last 30 years, I've been helping people develop those fundamental financial skills that have been so important to me and that are important to them. And all of my volunteer work, or a good chunk of it, the Florida Council on Economic Education, the weekly segment I do with my good friend Russell Rhodes, and the programming I do at WEDU, are all aimed at helping people understand these important financial fundamentals. But the real heroes out there, those are the dedicated teachers that Brian was talking about. Those are the folks who are in this audience, like Brett Berkey, like Bill Bosart, like Dick Puglisi and his talented team, who, with their colleagues at the Florida Council on Economic Education, are having a true impact on the financial lives of our teachers and of our students and of all of our futures. So I would like to thank them for what they do every day. And I'd like to thank the Tampa Bay Business School. Closing, I'd like to thank the members of the Tampa Bay Business Hall family for this great honor. Thank you.
Before we turn it over to Nat, we've had about 10 minutes left, and it's a tradition at the end, and I encourage you all to stay for 10 more minutes. Don't walk out. But when you do walk out, there'll be a table outside. Please place your remaining envelopes. I want to again, on behalf of Craig and I, congratulate all the inductees and thank everybody else in the audience, everybody, for their contributions tonight.
very much, Stan and Craig. We would now ask all of the Hall of Fame members to gather at the back of the room. What an incredible evening this has been. Wouldn't you agree? On behalf of the Florida Council on Economic Education, I congratulate each one of our new Tampa Bay Business Hall of Fame members. And now we continue a tradition that we've maintained at the Florida Council for the last 29 years. I'm going to call up our prior inductees to join us on stage, and I'm going to call the names of each one of them that are here tonight. From the class of 1992, Tom James. From the class of 1995, Bob Blanchard Sr. The class of 1997, Chris Sullivan. The class of 1998, John Sykes. The class of 2000, Alex Sink. Two members of the class of 2001, George Baxter and Jim Furman. The class of 2002, Rhea Law and Cindy McKinnon. Now from the class of 2003, Alan Bonstein, Gene McNichols, and Bob Sharp. Our Hall of Fame members from the 2004 class, Barry Alpert and Lee Arnold Jr. In 2005, the Florida Council inducted Dick Beard. The class of 2006, Sam Ellison and John Romeo. One of tonight's co-chairs was in the class of 2007, Stan Levy. The class of 2008, Sheila McDevitt and Jerry Williams. And from the class of 2009, Judy Genshaft. In the class of 2010, we had three inductees, Oscar Horton, Dick Lobo, and Dr. Ronald Vaughn. From the class of 2011, our other co-host tonight, Craig Scher, and also Dick Dobkin. The class of 2012, Steve Dickey. Four members of the class of 2013, Cornelia Corbett, Dick Corbett, Don DeFawcett, and Dr. Ann Kerr. Also, 4 inductees from the class of 2014, Tom Hall, Erwin Novak, Gary Sasso, and Chuck Sykes. And from the class of 2015, last year's class, Ralph Allen, Darrell LeClaire, and Hal Mullis. And now joining this elite group this evening are your 2016 Tampa Bay Business Hall of Fame honorees. Jerry Divers, Brian Glazer, Brian Lamb, Jeff Simon, and in spirit, and we remember him well, Harris Mullen. Congratulations to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in raising a glass to the Tampa Bay Business Hall of Fame members. We thank you for your dedication, your leadership, your service to the community, and most of all, your inspiration to future leaders in our community. Thank you so much. Just a few more words and we will be done for this evening. I would like to thank 2 individuals tonight who really worked so hard to make this event possible. You met earlier tonight David Boyd, our Executive Director. You're about to meet Suzanne Costanza, our Vice President. David and Suzanne, please say hello and thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you to our sponsors, to our volunteers. Please turn in your badges for recycling. We hope to see you again next year. Thank you so much. Good night.